Hey guys, welcome back. Today is Wednesday, December 9th, and it's only 9 days until episode 7. Not much to update you guys on, except I went to the theater that's closest, and they finally have a Star Wars poster up. They were hiding it. It was on the little photo booth. And on the photo booth it was playing the theatrical trailer. There are also a few more stills released, and there's a whole bunch of press things going on. And the world premiere is going to be on the 14th, so starting then I think I'm going to cut off my internet access. just to make sure I don't get spoiled, because there's too many things dropping now and it's getting really close. Continuing my Star Wars marathon, I watched Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, with my family, and we watched it in French, and I didn't record myself trying to read in French. I didn't even try to read it because it was too hard, but my mom, who took a few French classes and watched it with us for a while, was able to read most of the opening crawl. So that's one of my mom's talents. Episode 2 is another one of the movies that's been kind of put down a lot, somewhat reviled by a lot of fans, mainly because of the acting. There is still a lot of political intrigue, but not quite as much as Episode 1. The story is a little bit better in that it's a little easier to follow. It moves faster. Good grief, it opens with an assassination attempt on Padme. You're in it at about 5 minutes and boom, her ship blows up. That just thrusts you right into the action, and it doesn't let up very much. The acting is a little bit better. Ewan McGregor in particular settles into his role of Obi-Wan very well by this one. Natalie Portman's acting is definitely better. She still isn't quite as expressive as she needs to be, but she does better in this one than she does in Phantom Menace. Quite a bit better, actually. Hayden Christensen, I know a lot of people criticize him, but honestly, the darkness that he shows in killing the Tusken Raiders and the grief at losing his mother was very well done, actually. I'm very, very impressed with that. And he's also very good at the action scenes. Granted, his line delivery was not very good, but, well, what can you do? The dialogue itself was not the best in the world. It was, again, George seemed like he was trying to go for a word count instead of, it was quantity over quality. Some of the lines were pretty good. I liked Obi-Wan's one-liners, like when he's all tied up and he looks around and Anakin's, well, we just decided to come and rescue you, and Obi-Wan's, good job. That's pretty cool. The music, of course, as always, is awesome. John Williams nailed it. Love theme is just gorgeous. It's awesome stuff. The effects were a little bit better. The CG Yoda I actually like way better than the Phantom Menace puppet Yoda. The Phantom Menace puppet Yoda, I'm sorry, it doesn't look like Yoda. The CG Yoda looks more like Yoda. And of course, the great and powerful Oz doing the voice. There's no one else like him. No one else can do it like Frank Oz can. Favorite character in Episode 2? Probably Obi-Wan, because he's got, I guess, he's got the most personality, and he's very level-headed, and he might seem a little bit cold as far as Anakin's attachment goes. I mean, he could be a little bit more patient with him, but definitely the most likable character in this episode is Obi-Wan. I really, really like him in this. And of course, he's got the best one-liners. I love that dry sense of humor. That's great. Funniest moment in Episode 2, I think, were the little bits with 3PO and the droid mix-up. It was silly, but it still cracked me up. There wasn't a whole lot of brevity in this one, but 3PO provided most of it, and it was pretty funny. I like when he gets his head mixed up. That's just, it's silly, and the bad joke of, oh, this is such a drag, and I don't know, it still makes me laugh. Saddest moment, of course, was when Anakin's mother dies. I think that was actually the best scene as far as acting tone goes. That was the best scene in the entire movie. Shmi has accepted her fate, Anakin has not. You just see the devastation on his face, and it's just plain heartbreaking. He hasn't seen her since he was 9 or 10 years old, and she dies in his arms. For no reason. Why in the heck did the Tuscans have to capture her in the first place? I know it's because of the story, but still, ugh, that's just heartbreaking. It made me cry again. I wasn't crying quite as much as I did when Anakin left his mom, but I was definitely, there were tears in my eyes and they were coming out, and ugh. And it only gets sadder from here until episode 4, so. The best overall scene in episode 2 was definitely the battle in the Geonosian arena. Best moment was that shot when there's a whole bunch of battle droids coming out and it pans to the left and there's this whole bunch of Jedi waving their lightsabers and going absolutely nuts. I love that shot. It gets me excited every single time. One of the best action sequences in a Star Wars movie. It's just so cool. Love it, love it, love it. Now, of course, all this being said, there are things about episode 2 that I don't like. Like I said, some of the acting isn't quite up to par, mainly the delivery of the lines, but I honestly think the dialogue itself was worse than the actors acting. You have to be pretty darn good to make something that stilted sound good. Sorry. Like I said yesterday, George Lucas is an incredible storyteller. He does come up with a few good one-liners, but he's really better off letting someone else write the dialogue. Another thing I didn't like was Anakin's creeper eyes when he's looking at Padme. I mean, you can just, especially when she's like packing in the apartment and he's like, I am grown up, you said it yourself, and he just sort of leers at her. I was like, ugh. Guy looked at me like that, I would squirm or just get away, like, and the way he says, I'm sorry, m'lady, that just makes it worse. Like that one video recently, How It Should Have Ended. I completely agree with that as far as Anakin's creeper eyes go. That's just, oof. There are a few moments, though, when Anakin comes off as genuinely sweet. But between the creeper eyes and the fact that he massacred an entire village, I wouldn't fall for a guy like that. And my respect for Padme goes down a little bit because of that. When he confesses slaughtering an entire village of sand people, her reaction, she looks shell-shocked. But she sits next to him and she says, to be angry is to be human. She justifies mass murder. The only way I can figure out in my head to let her go for that is she didn't believe him. She couldn't let herself believe him. Which is why in episode 3 she wouldn't believe that she'd slaughtered the younglings. She wouldn't let herself go that dark. She figured he was just being, saying something that he wanted to do, or, I don't know, something like that. And that's the only way I can justify Padme's reaction to that, because, I mean, I feel bad for the guy too, but, dude, that is mass murder. Why would you want to stay with a guy like that? Just saying. In conclusion, my final score for Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, is 7.5 out of 10. Just a half point better than Episode 1. Because of the acting and the action sequences and the story. Anyway, that's all for today. Like I said, 9 days, technically 8 days and some change, but let's just say 9 days and counting till Episode 7. Tomorrow, my marathon continues with Disc 1, Season 1 of Star Wars, The Clone Wars. And I will be giving little mini reviews on each episode of that. Not in chronological order because I don't have the whole series, but in the order that it was broadcast. So anyway, I will see you all then. Until then, this is the Clumsy Jedi signing off, and may the Force be with you. Bye.
Go to the movie. Buns, cause it's like extra butter. Join the dark side. May the force be with